Hey everybody, this Ozark Prepper One. It's Wednesday, I believe, and we got more things to worry about in this country than Democrat Republican uh, election, because what's happening is they are rolling out the mark of the beast. Just come out and say it. You know, some people are saying it. I urge everybody to go over to SGT Report and find them on BitChute. But what's happening is, while everybody's preoccupied with the election stuff and all this other, the Operation Warp Speed is heading straight ahead. And you're all going to have to make a choice. It comes to a fork in the road and then there's a decision to make. And that decision is this: are you going to take their little mark? You're going to wear their mask? You're going to follow their system? Or are you going to do what you're supposed to do? You're going to follow God's law. And when you say God, we're not going to talk. It's not the God of the Muslims. It's not the God of the Hindus and Buddhists, or it ain't the devil worshippers. It's the right one. You know, he threw 10 commandments out there. And you're either going to follow those commandments and honor those, or you're going to follow the system. Simple as that. And with this vaccination that they're going to push, that's going to be the mark. Guaranteed, they're going to have that mark somehow. Whether it's the vaccination or the proof that you got it. And if you don't get it, you're probably going to lose your worldly things. That's how it's going to go. They're going to trick you, or not trick you, they're going to just put it in front of you. You have these two choices. You can either maintain your status quo, your lifestyle, get to keep driving your nice car and your nice house, or you're going to be in the gutter because you cannot buy or sell. You can't go certain places unless you're on foot. Can't be around certain people. And all this 5G technology that they're pushing out goes along with that. Otherwise, they wouldn't be rushing it out so hard, because think about it. The 4G technology reaches farther, has larger waves. 5G technology doesn't reach as far and has shorter waves, but is more, I guess, more accurate for them. They can track better. They can tell more about you with it. So if you don't have too much pride, refuse the system and do what's right. Be humble. Do without. Just do without and keep your soul. You know, you see all these Hollywood celebrities that you'll see them happy, but then you'll see them in trouble with the law, or they're having some kind of breakdown or freaking out. They sold their soul, and they know time is short. They know when their life's up, then it's hell to pay. You know, and I couldn't imagine being there, and I wouldn't want to wish that on anyone. You know, even bad people. Still don't wish nobody to just be tormented and literal, the most fear you could ever imagine forever. That just, to me, sounds haunting and violent, and just the most horror you can imagine forever. That would suck. So what I would do is when that situation comes, make the right choice. And before that situation comes, prepare, and maybe you can avoid some of it. Maybe you can shorten the suffering. Let's put it that way. Because me, to be honest, I'd rather sit out in a chair in a nice quiet yard than worry about having a big house, fancy car, going to a club, or any of those things. Because if it means selling your soul to do that, it's not worth it. And it's, God has to be real, because look how much the evil is out there that goes against God. And look at the one they pick on the most. That's the right one. I don't see Hollywood making a mockery of the Hindu God or the Muslim God. The only one I see them make a mockery of is Jesus Christ. And these are the same people that you can find quotes all over the internet. And they're actual quotes where they said they've sold their soul to get where they're at. And these same people make a mockery of Christ. So what they're going to do is back people in a corner. And the part in the Bible where it talks about people who have children in those days, woe to them, They're going to use your children as leverage. So you got to think about them too. Don't let them get their mind. Don't get in a situation where you can let them use them as leverage against you to take a mark. Because they learn from you, and if you refuse, they'll refuse. So we're in those days. I would say the calm before the storm. We're in the storm. We're not in the violence yet, but they're setting us up, and you can see the evil in these people's eyes. These politicians, you can see it. Just the evil smirks and grins in their face. It's like they just tasting blood right now. I think people have sat back too long and let them get too much power. And get with your local people. Form a team with good people. Don't just let everybody in there. Good people, like-minded. Form a team. Get together and have a plan. Not everybody can do everything, but everybody can do something. And I think that most people wrestle with things through their life. What's the truth? And it changes as we get older. From the time we're younger, I think a lot of people do, like even I've done it, where you go through a phase of investigating other religious beliefs and no religious beliefs. Sometimes we think, oh well, maybe aliens put us here, or maybe a boogeyman or something, And some people go straight after all the secret societies, and maybe this one's the bad one and this is the good one and stuff. And really, we don't know. We don't know. It could be like anything else. You have good and bad. All that. But the one thing we do know is if evil exists, good has to exist. And if a destroyer exists, a creator has to exist. And we see evidence of a destroyer. Everything that comes the fruit that tree bears is always negative. And they've chosen a side. They've actually chosen a political party. Before it wasn't like that. You know, I mean, you can go back to the 1960s. Even before that, the Democrat was more of the working man's party. It was the we protect union wages and stuff. And that's what it was, and that's what people voted for. And then as the late 60s come along, it became the party of Woodstock. You know, the people started associating with the drug and hippie culture, and those became the Democrats. And they became Luciferians. You know, that devil worshippers and stuff, satanic, and they tried to shock their parents, and then they actually started following the things that they were using to shock their parents with. And that's where we are today, because those people raised kids, and then their kids raised kids. And then look at the people we have now. We have a shit culture. You know, we have this blind love stuff or whatever, to where everybody thinks that we're all the same, and nobody's different. And it's done a disservice to every race on this planet. Because I think that we can coexist and take care of each other and all that, but we should not have culture clashes. We should not have, 100,000 people come across a border from another nation that have nothing in common with us. That should never happen. And it's happened in Europe, and it's happened in the United States. And a lot of the people who came in here, I don't blame them either, because they were coerced into doing it. You know, they were thrown money in their face, and they were only sent up here as a tool. They only came here to disrupt things, even though wasn't their plan. The people who paid them to come here, the people who financed their journey, they did it. And it was all done to disrupt our economy, disrupt our culture, and our people. And Europe, I can say, from what I see in Europe, they're fucked. The whole world is pretty much, but in Europe, I don't see a far right in Europe. You know, even if I was a lefty, I'd want to see some far right people. Because as a righty, which I lean more right, I want to see some lefties, because that keeps everything in check. But you don't have that in Europe, and you don't have that in American cities as much. You got just all these lefty clowns that just think everything's all emotion bullshit without facts and reality. You know, all these people with the climate change shit, they're full of shit. Man has no effect on the climate. This earth is big. Anyway, I'm getting a call, so I'll talk to you later. Over and out.